All right, hello. So here we have the much promised videos on how to make one-pan quick meals that are healthy and delicious. I'm going to be doing chicken thighs in this particular pan that has a lid. There are so many different options, and I was gonna like go into, you could do this or you could do that, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a video for each one because you could watch them if I feel like doing it in a cast iron skillet tonight, or I just want to do it on a sheet pan. Tonight I'm using this one because it's Friday, and on Fridays they sometimes give us little treaty treats and things that we don't normally eat on the regular, and instead of using rice, or sometimes I'll slice up a potato for the man and a sweet potato or a yam for me. I just prefer sweet potatoes. Tonight we are having something that we really generally try to avoid, and that is a processed stuffing mix. Yes, I'm just gonna show the Wegmans brands. I use everything Wegmans because if I could, I'd marry them. We're having this, so I want the lid to keep the moisture in the container while it's baking, because I'm not going to make the stuffing and then put it in here. I'm putting it in dry and adding some stuff. It's pretty good. Sometimes the edges are crunchy, but that's actually fairly delicious with chicken thighs and a vegetable. So let's get started. This part's, I don't know if it's 100% necessary. I just feel like on cooking shows, chefs and home cooks that have cooking shows would do it. So I'm just a home cook, but it's kind of like my cooking show, right? Just a little bit of swishy swish of olive oil. Again, I don't know that it's necessary. And this first. We'll start with this. I should have had it open and ready to go. I thought I got everything ready, and I just threw my pepper shaker into the recycle bin. I put the box for the pepper shaker. Pepper mill. Here we go. Okay. I found that, I don't know what other store, but I'm usually a store brand person, and there was one other store, I can't recall which, where it was, the stuffing mix was so salty. So, let me get this out of the way, can you see? I'm going to sprinkle it not over the bottom of the whole pan. I'm going to keep it kind of in a pile across perhaps 1/3 of the pan. Mostly because the spices, I think, all settled in the bottom, and I'm not going to be stirring it up in a saucepan with liquid, so I want to make sure. But just in case, get a little fork here, do a little bit. You don't have to do this because it's all in a pretty nice stack. If you can see, a little nice stack. And we will be having green beans, Wegmans. I just picked them. You can pick any vegetable you want. This is chicken thighs. It's probably going to be in the oven. Well, not probably. It's going to be in the oven for an hour at the very least. So, seriously, you could even just slice up some fresh carrots. You can throw in some fresh broccoli, any kind of frozen. I always use just plain vegetables. There's nothing in it, no sauces, no flavorings. So usually, with the exception of this, I generally prefer to season and spice it myself so I can have control over it. Over the salt and the flavors and everything. So over the rest of the space, we'll spread out all these delicious green beans. I like the extra fine. Sometimes I'm in the mood for the chunkies and I buy those. I don't ever buy the French cut ones though, I don't know why. Okay, now this is very seasoned, so I'm going a little lighter and more basic with the spices tonight. However, the green beans, it's just green beans. So I have some kosher salt. Not on the stuffing, that's perfectly fine, it's seasoned. Just on the beans. Sometimes I mix it up, but I think that it'll sink in just fine. Tonight I'm not going to. Some pepper. Things a little peppery, and then just a little glug glug, 1 bloop, 2 bloop, 3 bloops, 4 bloops, and a zoops, just in case you know how much, because I could say it's about a tablespoon, but I see people doing it on TV all the time. It's like, it's about a tablespoon, and they do a 1/2 cup, and I'm like, a little bit more than that is what that is. Anyway, now the chicken thighs. I buy family packs and then I separate them out. At this point, I'm still using not reusable plastic bags because I have some of the reusable kind, but they're not dishwasher friendly and I just don't like it. You know how much I love doing housework. Although I hear that now they make a kind that are, I've been on the lookout. So for now, yes, I use the kind you throw out. I'm going to put the chicken thighs specifically over. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Never mind. We're moving that off to the side for a second. Before I put the chicken in, some chicken stock. Again, Wegmans, but I also like, for this, I also like Aldi, just fine, whichever store I'm at when I need it. I never measure, I just kind of glug, 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 so it'll be like glug, 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 glug. Yeah, that's probably fine. I figure if it's a little too mushy, I will still be fine with it. And I'm sure the man will too. Dry, like I said, it's been crunchy on the edges before, and that's not terrible. It's actually kind of good. So I make sure, since I'm only making 4 thighs, these are boneless, skinless thighs. That's just our preference. I think skin and bone would be fine also. It would be much juicier though, so it'd be, you know what, it'd be fine. A juicy dish is just fine. So I pretty much have it over the stuffing. You can put it over the green beans. It's just that I'm only making 4 thighs, so that's the only space. They're packed in. It doesn't need to be. I could even spread the 4 of them out. I just want to keep this covered so that it gets the most moisture, the stuffing. There's really no wrong way though. If I had them spaced, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd probably be great because there's a cover. As long as it cooked long enough, it'd be good. Now I'm using, said I want to keep the spices simple, but just plain old naked chicken would be very bland. So I'm going with this Montreal chicken, which is good. I will cover in another video, maybe just talking about, because I went to the stores and I took all kinds of pictures of cookware and spices and sauces and seasonings that you could use to make this delicious, and trying to be, we usually like to eat as unprocessed as possible, which is kind of hilarious. I say that as we're about to eat stovetop stuffing. And this one is pretty much everything that's in here on the ingredient list. Not pretty much, definitely everything in here you could buy and make your own. So I like these brands. I don't much care, well, I'll go into that when I talk about the spices alone anyway. Montreal chicken, one of my favorites, and just liberally over the top of the chicken. Yep. Looks like I'm finishing the container. And as you can see, it is pretty liberal. It's quite spiced up and covered. And that's it. Lid on. Just a quick note, if you were to use something that didn't have a lid, tinfoil over the top works just fine. And then it will go into the oven. 350. For 1 hour. For 1 hour, not for 1 hour. It went to 113. I'll leave it at that. Chicken thighs are pretty sturdy. You can usually, unlike chicken breasts, you can do them, be a little less persnickety about the time, because they're not going to dry out so bad. I mean, they will eventually burn. I've done it, believe it or not. But anyway, so 1 hour and 12. We'll be back in 1 hour and 12 to show you how they look.